What is up, everybody? My name is Merlin Joshi, and today we are doing episode 2 of Will It DNB? So thankfully, on the last episode, one of you suggested a very, very interesting song. Here's a clip of it. It's truly a wild song, if you ask me. What? Do you get it? So let's jump right into it. So I noticed in the original, the guitars had a very distinct vibrato that they were using. So I tried to mimic that in the chords that I made that sound like this. So the chords are pretty much just a saw wave, 6 voices of unison, some compression, and a bunch of modulation effects, as you can see here. So I've got the vibrato modulating the fine pitch right here. 6.2 hertz is what it's doing. And then in the mixer, I've got some EQ, a Maximus for a bit of stereo shaping, and a bit of light reverb. The next thing I moved on to was the bass. The bass is spelling out what the chords are doing in the song just a bit, like this. And the bass patch is pretty simple. It's just a saw wave with 3 voices of unison. It's got the same pitch modulation that the chords do, 6.2 hertz, modulating the fine pitch. Then it's got some EQ, scooping out the mids, and then it's being distorted by diode 2 distortion. And then it's being compressed, and then we've got some modulation effects on it. In the mixer, I've got a Maximus, which is doing some stereo shaping, some very serious stereo shaping, as you can see. And then I've got an EQ, and then just a pretty basic sub, a little bit of decapitator on it. And with a little bit of EQ. And then I added some DNB drums. And then I've got some sidechain from the kick and the snare affecting everything melodic. So the next thing I wanted to add was an ARP. I wanted to add an ARP just to fill out the space a little bit. And the ARP does this interesting thing where in this part of the song, it's very staccato and plucky. And then in this part of the song, it's very long and held out. Nearing the end, it opens up completely to give the song a big finish. The ARP is also matching the chord's vibrato rate, 6.2 hertz. And besides that, the ARP is just a 6-voice unison saw wave with some hyperdimension, delay, and reverb. Now, in the mixer, I've just got a little bit of EQ, evening out the spectrum. And then I moved on to the effects. Just pretty standard effects, just crashes, downlifters, risers. As you could probably hear in the effects, there was a bit of a vocal quality to one of them, and that leads us into the next part, the vocals. So what I did for the vocals was I sent them each to their own Vocodex. They all have their own separate saw wave oscillator that is being the carrier. After each vocal, you can see I have an OTT on each of them, giving them a little bit of compression. And then they're all being sent to a group send, where I have EQ, EQing out some of the harsher frequencies, a little bit of reverb to give it some space, and then I have a delay. They sound like this. On some of the saw waves, I have a bit of vibrato going on just to give it a bit more of a human feel, so it's not just robotic the whole time. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. So I hope you guys enjoy this remix of Wild Honeypie by the Beatles, and I hope you leave more suggestions for other songs I should DNB-ify next in the comments below. And that's all. See you guys next time.